Hi everyone, welcome back to my vlog. I'm Robin, or Hop a Treating List. And this week, what are we doing this week? I have no idea. This week is, as far as I know, pretty normal. I'm obviously going to try to read a lot while keeping my head above water with everything else I have to do, and I already feel like I'm not doing well. It's great. I love that vibe. Yeah, let's just get into it. So, as I said, I already feel like I'm falling behind because I'm editing today instead of doing it yesterday. My mood just tanked last night. I don't know why. I transferred all the clips over from my camera, and then I was about to edit, and I was just like staring at the program like, I don't think I can do that right now. So, started editing this morning. I'll edit when I get back from class, so the vlog will go up like a couple hours later than usual. That's fine. But because I didn't want to edit last night, I figured I might as well go ahead and finish a book that I've been listening to on and off for about 2 months. Because I had an hour left of the audiobook of Internal Family Systems, which my therapist had recommended. It's all about this like method of therapy, which is honestly, listening to it, I'm like, I've been in therapy for a while. I'm like, this is like the most like woo form of therapy. It's very interesting, and I enjoyed learning about it. I don't know if I'll be able to do it. It's just so Internal Family System is all about like the different parts of ourselves and how they operate and how they like protect other parts, and it was very interesting. But like the actual method of like getting in touch with your parts, which is a weird sentence now that I think about it. It was just a little like woo. I just don't know if I'll be able to do it, but I'm glad that I finished listening to it. I only had 2 chapters, like I said. I had an hour left, and the last 2 were all about like the different research areas that IFS had been applied to, and then like an overall summary again as the last chapter, which I thought was unnecessary, but it's fine. So even though this method of therapy is probably not something that I will engage in, I did enjoy learning about it. I thought it made a lot of sense. It's just not something that I think I can do. But I liked that it was obviously written by the person who developed this theory. It is very interesting. Like I said, it was very well written. There's a lot of research. It's very well described. So I gave it 4 stars. Honestly, I give most nonfiction 4 stars because I'm just like, I'm learning. But I did think it was really cool. So yeah, so there's that. Because I did that, I am now officially caught up on my reading goal. I talk about my reading goal a lot, not because I feel any, well, let me rephrase the thing that I didn't say. Not because anyone is putting any sort of pressure on me besides myself. And I know that I control this reading goal. But I like the reading goal because it helps keep me accountable. And this whole time I've been like 1 or 2 books behind. My reading pace is pretty good. But I do like being caught up just because it feels like I'm not behind. And as I mentioned, I'm feeling behind. So I will mention it every so often of like, oh, this will get me caught up on my reading goal or something, because I'm sure I'll fall behind again. But it's the way of keeping myself accountable, and I have discovered like I need those like tracking things in order to do what I'm supposed to do. Because if my brain has any wiggle room, it takes it. So there's that. So yeah, I finished that last night. That's what, my 15th book of the year, so pretty good. I didn't read anything else. I thought about it when I'm like, I don't really want to edit. And before I started listening to Internal Family Systems, I was just like, oh, well, I could pick up on writing, which I'm reading for a different video, or I could pick up Mysteries of Udolpho, which I have to read for class. It's like, I don't want to. Like, it just really wasn't in the mood. And so the audiobook seemed easiest because I knew I just needed to listen to it. Like, I wasn't actually, at that point, I knew I wasn't, like, retaining the information anymore. Not, like, seriously. So, yeah. I'm hoping I can read more today because I kind of need to. Especially for Mysteries of Udolpho. I have until like spring break-ish, which is in about a month, to get it done. But I don't want to be reading the same book for a month. So like that's the book I'm kind of reading in the background, but like trying to like really keep up with it. Anyway, on my way to class today, I will start listening to 10 Things That Never Happened, which is a fake amnesia story by Alexis Hall. I have mentioned this before. I'm always a little wary of Alexis Hall. I like their writing. And there have been some books where I was either like very disappointed by the ending, husband material, or they just didn't work with me. So yeah, we'll see. But I will start listening to that today. And that's my last like audiobook on my TBR for this month. So I don't know what I'm going to listen to next week, but I will get there. I will deal with that when I get there. So I'm going to go, and I will check in later with my initial thoughts on 10 Things That Never Happened. Okay. It's snowing again. I like the snow. I like looking at it. I don't like driving in it. So it's not snowing bad. It's just I can see snow. Anyway, I started listening to 10 Things That Never Happened. I listened to 4 chapters yesterday. I will listen to, obviously, more today because I'm finally going back to work on a Wednesday. I haven't been the last 2 Wednesdays. So 10 Things That Never Happened is about this guy, Sam. His full name is Samwise. He's literally named after the Hobbit. He manages like a Bed Bath & Beyond kind of store, and his store is not like performing as well as they're expected to, and he goes down to London to follow his boss or shadow his boss to improve, and he's about to get fired, and he sort of like trips and hits his head on something, and I guess his reaction sort of makes his boss think that he has amnesia. And Sam plays along with it. So I'll be very interested. It is a queer romance. And so they end up like, getting to know one another better, and they end up like presumably falling in love. I would assume. So I'm curious because like I'm not a huge fan of lying, even in fiction. So I have a feeling, for as amusing as it might be, I'm just like automatically just gonna be like, but you should tell him that you don't have amnesia. And like, I guess my thing is I assume, I could be wrong, and I will definitely admit it if I am. I assume my reaction is going to be like, okay, like when it first happens, like I can kind of understand because you're sort of panicking and you're injured and like, okay. But like the next day, why would you continue it? Even say you don't want to admit like, oh yeah, I was faking all of yesterday. Like you can just say like, oh, my memory came back. Like, so I think that's the part I'm going to have an issue with. I will let you know if I'm wrong, and if Alexis Hall somehow portrays it as like, okay, actually I don't mind this. We'll see. So I will listen to more tonight. I'm sure I'll have more to talk about tomorrow because I'll listen to a lot more today. So other than that, I read about 80 pages of On Writing yesterday, and that was very interesting. I'm not talking a lot about that book. I do have plans today. I have to read another chapter of literary theory, and then I'm hoping I could read more of Mysteries of Udolpho, because I need to like make a lot more progress on that. So I'm hoping that I can talk about that more in depth. So I want to mention that I'm reading On Writing, but there's gonna be a whole other video for that in depth. So yeah, so that's what I read, and then I'm gonna drive in the snow and go to class and then go to work. Hi everyone. I did not film yesterday. I kind of took a little break. I played Sims for a couple hours because in the early part of the day I was just running around. Like, I don't feel like I was settled at home until like, what, 3:30? Because I had a car appointment, so that kind of messed up my entire schedule. So I called my dad before I went to class, then I went to class, then I went to personal training, and then I stopped at home for like 30 minutes, and then I went to my car appointment, sat there, and then drove home, went grocery shopping, and then I got home at 3:30. So I left the house at 8:30. So all that to say, obviously I didn't film yesterday. I did read quite a bit on Wednesday though, and I also read quite a bit yesterday. So I am trying to think. I read about 60 pages of On Writing. Still very interesting, still very helpful. I'm actually very surprised at how much I'm enjoying it. So there's that. I have about 3 hours left of 10 Things That Never Happened. I should finish that today. There's no reason I shouldn't, because I have to drive to work, I have to drive to Temple, and I have to drive home, all of which are over an hour drives. So I should finish it. I'm looking forward to that because I'm really enjoying it, actually. I'm pleasantly surprised. It is very much a slow burn, which I wasn't quite expecting. I was expecting it to be a little bit faster. But I enjoy a slow burn because you really start to feel like it all makes sense. And yeah, there's that. I'm kind of hurrying because now my camera has one battery, or one thing of battery, whatever. And also, yesterday I read about 50, I think, more pages of Mysteries of Udolpho. I think what I'm going to do, because it's good, I understand it, which is great for a book written in the late 1700s, and it's very slow. And like, I read, I would say like 5 chapters yesterday. I was aiming for 7, but I couldn't read anymore. It was making me so sleepy. So I think what I'm going to do, because after I finish 10 Things That Never Happened, I don't have any more audiobooks on my TBR for this month. And I had considered just like listening to whatever, but I think what I'm going to do is listen to Mysteries of Udolpho, so I get like, I get further ahead, because while I have a month to read it, I don't want to take the month. I'd rather, especially because we're not, you know, we're talking about things that happen at the end of the book, so I want to get done as quickly as possible. So I will listen to Mysteries of Udolpho next week and see how far that gets me. But yeah, that's about it. Today I'm going to Temple. It should be very fun. We're having a themed Shabbat, which I'm very much looking forward to. And then tomorrow I have a work event where we're going mini golfing. So hopefully it should be lots of B-roll. But I will talk to you when I finish 10 Things Never Happened. Hi everyone, I'm back upstairs. Okay. Besides like the main update of me finishing 10 Things That Never Happened, I'm trying to think if I read anything else. I don't think I did. I didn't have much time yesterday to do anything else. And I'm trying to remember, did I film yesterday, or I don't know. I haven't read much. I think the last time I talked to you was about what I read on Wednesday. So yeah. Okay, so really the only thing that I read has been to finish 10 Things That Never Happened. And I still stand by, like, what I predicted earlier in the week, that, like, the line that is a central part to the plot, like, it did bother me because I just don't feel like it needed to continue for that long. But I understand it. But it did really bother me. And I also felt like it was resolved, like, it was resolved a little too easily, and then the, like, not easy part kind of happened off page, because I'm like, well, there could have been, like, more of a conversation about the, like, active betrayal that is a part of the lie. So that part kind of bothered me, but otherwise, I did very much enjoy the writing. I really like Alexis Hall's writing. I disagree with some of their choices, but I like the writing. I get really into it. It is very British, and not like the posh, like, what was it, royal pronunciation accent, I think. I'll put up the actual, like, letters. Not the, like, stereotypical, like, posh sort of, but I think I'm pretty sure it's the Geordie accent, more in, like, the Liverpool and Sheffield area up in the north. I really enjoy it. But it is, if you are not familiar with, like, various aspects of British culture, I think this book will prompt a lot of questions, and, like, and there were a lot of stuff that, like, I didn't know either, but I know enough that I can piece stuff together. And so it's just, I really enjoyed it. I thought it was fun. I gave it 4 stars, mainly because of, like, just the disagreement about the plot in general. I just don't feel like it needed to go on for a month. That's so long. And the entire time Sam was feeling bad about it. So, like, if you're feeling bad about it and you're starting to have feelings for this guy, just own up. Just own up that you panicked. It just, sooner is better than never. And then, yeah, I can't get into more of the parts that I disagree with because it's spoilers, but I still enjoyed it. Gave it 4 stars. But yeah, there is that part. So that's about it. Last night we had a Y2K Shabbat, which is very fun. I tried to go a bit grunge, although Chris told me that I just looked how I normally look. Which I'm like, okay, thanks. Which I don't mind, honestly, if that's my style. That's great. And then today we're going back to Illinois because we're having this, like, team building event. We're going mini golfing, and Chris is coming with me, so we're gonna do that. Because Chris is coming with me, I'm not gonna listen to an audiobook because that he would not be into it. So yeah, that's about it. So hopefully I'm gonna get lots of B-roll of mini golf. Good morning, everyone. Ooh, my voice is scratchy. So it's been a couple days because I have had a lot of anxiety over the past couple days. I sort of realized, like, I have an essay due for my literary theory class due this Friday. And literary theory is very difficult for me because I very much like things to be concrete. And then I looked at my calendar and I realized how little time I actually have this week to write that essay. And so I sort of started freaking out. So since I last talked to you, which I think was on Saturday, yeah, because I finished 10 Things That Never Happened. We went mini golfing for like my work's like team event. And while I really like mini golfing and I wouldn't mind mini golfing with my team, I don't like the place where we went. Like, I understand it had to be inside, right? Because it's cold. It's cold in Chicago. It was so crowded, and because we went on a Saturday, it was so busy. And like, they have like 4 different courses, but they're so like, they're all in this like, I don't even know measurements, like 100 by 150 foot rectangle. There's 9 holes in those, so it's so crowded. And then like, we had 2.5 groups, because each group is made up of 4 people. And then like, people kept, you know, obviously people kept talking and like chatting, but because they weren't at first necessarily keeping up with where they should be according to the holes, we were holding other people up, and that was making me very anxious. So I had to be kind of like, I had to start being like, hey, I know we want to like talk and hang out, and that's great, but there are people behind us, so we have to keep moving. And like, my boss jokingly, you know, said I was being really impatient. I'm like, look behind us at how many people are waiting for us and are polite enough to not say anything. So yeah, so that made me really anxious. And I felt bad because I couldn't really hang out with Chris the first, you know, time we went around. The second time was better. But yeah, so like, that was stressful. And then Sunday, that's when I started looking at my calendar. I'm like, oh, I don't have that much time to write this essay. So I created like a time block, which my dad is upset with how I did it, but that's fine, because I don't time block that often. I pretty much am only doing it this week because I needed to see the gaps that I have where I can like feasibly work on this essay. And then Sunday night, I was gonna start it, and I was trying to find like, you know, sources, and the original thing that I was gonna write about was making it really hard, so I had to switch topics, and that was upsetting. All this to say, long story long, I have felt very anxious, and this has impacted my reading, and I don't foresee reading that much this week, at least until this essay is done. And so this will be a 2-week vlog. Now, if you look at my community posts, you already know that. I have filmed my TBR. I need to edit it. That will still go up on Saturday. But I was just feeling too much. So what I have read since I finished 10 Things Never Happened is pretty much only listening to Mysteries of Udolpho. So I'm in the 2nd volume now. I think I'm on the 3rd chapter. Yeah, I'm on the 3rd chapter of the 2nd volume. So I'm listening to it is helping, because I'm like, I haven't read anything else because I don't have time. And the small amount of time that I do have, and like, I mean small, like 45 minutes, to where like, I know I could read in that time, but to me it just doesn't feel like satisfying to be like, okay, I'm gonna, you know, try to read for 45 minutes and get like 30 pages. Like, it doesn't feel great. So in that time, I'm just playing Sims because I need a break. I've also been very busy at work, like very, very busy. And that's another thing that's contributing, because usually I sometimes have some light days. Not this week. Not this week. Is very busy. So I'm in the 2nd volume. I believe I mentioned that Emily's now an orphan, which is not a spoiler. She's under the care of her aunt, who has just gotten married to this guy, Montoni. It's very clear that he is the villain of the story. And he ended Emily's engagement, and Montoni, Emily, and her aunt are going to Montoni's castle in Italy, where it's Udolpho, and then that's where the mysteries start. So I'll be interested to see the gothic elements, because so far in the first volume it's been very what is called sentimentalism. Yeah, you know what I mean. It's been very emotional, and I like it. So I'll be interested to see how Radcliffe does the weaving of like the gothic elements, because that is not necessarily something that I would, reading the first volume, would anticipate her doing well. So yeah, I'll just be very interested. I will probably get into some of that today on my way to class, although I know it's gonna be a very long chapter. So I'm trying to think if there's anything else. Yeah, updates might be sporadic this week. I have pretty much 3 hours when I get home to work on this essay. I am hoping. I don't think I can finish it today. I'm hoping to have it done Thursday. I would like to have a good chunk done today, because it's only 4 to 6 pages. But this 4 to 6 page paper is causing me so much stress. And my teacher's probably gonna read it and be like 100, and like not actually like yeah. So I have a page written, the first page. But I'm hoping that like if I can write a page an hour today when I get home, it'll be mostly done. Like that'll be a huge stress relief. It does mean I won't read today. I probably won't read tomorrow, besides audiobook, but Thursday. I would be thrilled if I could have this paper done by Thursday so that I could actually read. Because I am now behind. And not on my reading goal. I'm behind on that. But I'm behind on writing. And I need to still read The Girl in Blue by Woodhouse. So I'm behind on my February TBR. And because I already know what my March TBR is, I'm getting stressed again. Okay. So, yeah, that's what's going on. I'm going to go to class. And then I'm going to come home and try to write. And I'm hoping that, like, because I'm going to my theory class today, that we'll talk about the paper a little bit, and that will sort of give me some more inspiration to continue writing. So, all right, I've rambled. I'm going to go. Good morning. So this was the reason that I made this a 2-week vlog, because I knew I just wasn't gonna have time. I did, however, finish my paper. It's submitted and everything. So now I should be able to read more. So I've continued listening to The Mysteries of Udolpho. I am like, I don't know, like 43% through. I'm gonna listen to it today, and then on Sunday I will probably switch over to like an audiobook for my TBR. But this is helpful because it's keeping me making progress, even though I didn't have a lot of time to read this week. Things are getting spookier. Emily is at the castle now, and things just keep happening to her. You feel really bad. It's like, oh, this will work out. And it does, except something worse is coming. And there's a secret passageway that like is concerning. And there's this weird like picture that's covered. It's so interesting. I'm really enjoying it. It's just, yeah, it's very long. So there's that. And then otherwise, the only thing that I've read is Wednesday, I ended up with a little bit of a break at work, which was nice. And I was able to read, I don't even know how much, I did not keep track of that, but I was able to read more on writing. So that was really helpful, and it made me feel a little bit better. I'm hoping I'll finish it this week, because I don't have that much left. But yeah, that is my hope. Otherwise, that's kind of it. But I like I said, I finished my paper. That was the thing that was causing most stress, plus work. But today at work is sort of easier. I have a lot of meetings, so I think I might. I was debating on like, should I go to Temple? I wasn't originally planning on it tonight because I thought I would not finish my paper yet. And I was kind of debating on going now that I have finished my paper, but I kind of think I'm just going to come home because I can feel myself getting burned out, and I'm very aware of like the rest of my to-do list. And so I think just coming home and just like trying to accomplish some of those things, like editing my TBR so I don't have to like stress and, you know, worry about it in the morning. So yeah. That does mean that I will listen to an hour less of The Mysteries of Udolpho, but I think it'll be okay. Yesterday, I pretty much just played Sims because I need a break. So I had my day off yesterday, played Sims, and now tonight I will resume my to-do list. Alright, so hopefully tomorrow I can check in and tell you that I finished on writing. Let's see. Okay, so I have officially finished on writing. I'm not going to talk that much about it because, as I mentioned, I'm filming a separate video for it, but I did finish it. I really loved it. I thought it was very helpful for anyone who's considering writing their own original work, no matter like what the reason is. So I thought it was very informative. It's a very easy read for being a nonfiction book. And yeah, I thought it was really great. So I gave it 5 stars. Other than that, I have continued reading The Mysteries of Udolpho. I'm over halfway done now. And I think I have like 11 hours left of the audiobook. This week I will not be listening to the audiobook because I have to start listening to the Yid for the book club meeting on the 10th. So I'm going to listen to that this next week. But I did read an additional like 2 chapters last night after I got home while I was waiting for Chris. So I feel good about that. I'm hoping I can like obviously keep up reading because it's important because I need to finish the book. I'm hoping that like by next week I can have it done. Maybe. But yeah, I mean, that's all I read. My next book that I'm going to start is The Girl in Blue by P.G. Wodehouse. It's the last book from my February TBR. Well, the last one that I'm going to read. I'm sort of procrastinating on, what is it, Sunset Lodge? So yeah, there's that. But The Girl in Blue, I have no idea what it's about. So I guess I'll talk about it after I start it, which will hopefully be today or tomorrow. I guess we'll see. I've been kind of taking it easy since I finished my paper, just because I was so stressed at the beginning of this week. Like, I didn't film anything, but things are better now. I've done some self-care. I've hung out with Chris, and now we're gonna get back into the swing of things. Good morning, everyone. This has been a very long 2 weeks. And I feel like I'm still recovering, even though I really tried to take it easy over the weekend. But I still feel like I need more recovery. I know I seem like really like meh, but I'm actually in a really good mood. I met another weight loss goal, which like I don't really care about my weight. It's more about like just feeling healthy and stuff and all that. But because I'm someone who needs like in order to maintain motivation, I need rewards. And so for every pound I lose, I get another reward. And I get 2 extra ones whenever I can fit them in. But I've unlocked 2 extra ones, so I'm very excited. Because that means I get to go to an aquarium, and I get to have a Lord of the Rings marathon. So I'm very happy about that. Anyway, with what I started saying, I feel like I'm still recovering from like the past 2 weeks, but mainly the past week being just very, very stressful, very busy. So I haven't read that much. I listened to, I think, like 3 chapters of The Yid, which I'm not sure about. Like, it's fine, but I found myself like struggling to concentrate, and on the way home yesterday from work, I didn't listen to it just because I wasn't really in the mood. And so, yeah, I'm not quite sure about it. But The Yid is about this guy, Levinson. He's older, like in his 50s, I believe. And he essentially leads this group of people to kill Stalin. Which, listening to this, it's making me realize that there are things about the 1950s, about the aftermath of World War II that I don't know about. Because, and I'm going to out myself and sound potentially very stupid, because I haven't looked it up. I thought Stalin died in World War II? Apparently not. Actually, let me just confirm that real quick. Confirm that he did not die. He probably died in 1953, like the Yid says. Let me just verify. No, let me spell his name right. Yep, he died in 1953. So I didn't know that. So the Yid will be very interesting because that's a whole time period I don't know that much about, which is good. I love learning, and now I know a new fact. It's one I feel like I probably should have known, but that's okay. We all have gaps in our knowledge. So I did like the first 2 chapters. It was more action-packed than I thought it was. Like, because it's in the first 3 chapters, I'm going to talk about it. So his name is Levinson, and he was an actor in this like Jewish theater in somewhere in Russia. And these 3 guys that are part of the government come to his apartment at 3 a.m. looking for something. And he's acting really like zany, which I believe he is that zany. And just chaotic. And he ends up killing them. In like very quick succession, using like his acting and dancing abilities, and it sounded very awesome, honestly. But I was just like, well, like I kind of knew something was going to happen because he's the main character. He's not going to get like arrested or anything, at least not right there. But I just wasn't expecting that. So yeah, I did enjoy it. I haven't connected to it yet, but again, I only listened to 3 chapters, so that makes sense. So I'm going to listen to it today on my way to and from school. But I'm a little bummed that I didn't read more in these past 2 weeks, which again makes sense because there's a reason I made this a 2-week vlog. And I think I said last week that I wasn't going to read much. Like, I'm impressed I finished On Writing. Was that the only book I finished last week? Yeah. Yeah, because I was just listening to Mysteries of Udolpho. Which I think I already talked about. Yeah. So, there was that. This upcoming week, I will obviously continue listening to The Yid because I need to have that finished by March 10th. And then I'm going to read The Girl in Blue, which I should have read in February, because that's my Woodhouse book. So I'm going to really focus on those 2 things. School should ease up a little bit for at least the next 2 weeks. So, yeah. It's just very busy. But I'm halfway through. That's what I have to keep reminding myself. Alright, well, anyway. I feel like I'm in like a really chaotic mood, which is gonna be interesting for today. Thank you so much for watching. Leave me a comment, like the video, subscribe, click notification bell, all that good stuff. Next week we will get back to our regularly scheduled programming with hopefully accomplishing more reading. And I will talk to you guys then. Bye.